Howdy sports fans, are you good? Good. Been a while. Like a whole bunch of masochists, the last couple months of my gaming life have been dominated by From Software's Elden Ring, their most ambitious and arguably best game to date. From getting spat on by giant lobsters to getting shat on by a hilariously unbalanced one-armed woman with really bad skin, it completely consumed my thoughts in recent times. I was sad to all credits, but it did compel me to finally return to Bloodborne, and immediately want a remaster. I've picked up Bloodborne on and off a lot over the years, though only ever got as far as beating Father Gascoigne before. I'm not really sure why that is. The dark and grimy aesthetic is maybe the most arresting I've ever seen in a game, and the fact that violence is the answer to most of its combat puzzles makes it one of the fastest, most aggressive Souls-likes out there. It also helps that enemies kind of just explode into fountains of the good red stuff when you even just graze them or think about them nastily. It's amazing. Despite how much Bloodborne is my jam on paper, I'd never really given it the time it needed. But with the lands between now on fire after I accidentally got fingered in some basement, it makes a lot of sense when you play the game, trust me, I figured now was the perfect time to jump back in. Almost immediately I was reminded that people who think all of From's action RPGs are the same have probably only ever taken a surface level look at a couple of them. Elden Ring and Bloodborne feel like two very different games, and while they each have that distinct From Software DNA throughout, jumping between both games gave me whiplash because of how different they are, especially in terms of approachability. Bloodborne just bloody loves wasting your time with a 2-minute trek back to more pain, whereas Elden Ring gives you so many checkpoints and tools that you can bash your head against a brick wall more efficiently than ever. Elsewhere, Bloodborne's blood vials don't replenish like Crimson Tears, so you have to figure out effective loops of stocking them up and returning to the area whenever you're low, which can just feel honestly like busy work. On the flip side though, I'd argue that even with a much lower resolution, Bloodborne's style is far more memorable and its combat is far chunkier and tenser, despite being arguably less complex. There's plenty of other differences, but there's one area where Elden Ring objectively feels light years ahead of Bloodborne, and that's the performance. Now look, obviously speaking, games released in 2015, the before times, and 2022, sadly the now times, are going to perform pretty differently, though an interesting aside is that both came out in the early years of a new PlayStation console. It should be expected that Elden Ring 60fps was far easier for From to hit 7 years later, while Bloodborne splutters to 30fps and only 30 consistently, most of the time anyway, thanks to the PS5's backwards compatibility tech, which no one really understands but we all think it's very cool. However, the contrast between them is so stark, specifically because Bloodborne wasn't even the best performing game of 2015 and has, curiously, seen no real bespoke updates to take advantage of either the PS4 Pro or PS5. It's just really plain odd that there's been no improvements, with the step down in performance being so stark between both games that Bloodborne's jittery frame pacing may give you a headache after the much more consistently playable Elden Ring. It felt like FromSoft and Sony were just holding on to an announcement for a special occasion, but Bloodborne's 5th anniversary came and went without pretty much anything, and there's been no word at any state of play or anything like that since. Of course, there's been an unofficial patch by Lance McDonald that bumped the frame rate up to 60 FPS, though nothing official from either the game's official developer or official publisher in all this official time. I wrote officially too much in this sentence, but I'm going to finish it officially anyway. And that's official. According to McDonald, even a simple performance improvement would now be possible thanks to the PS5 knowing when to unlock frame rates for games on old SDKs. However, the likelihood is that Sony will end up releasing a paid PS5 version of Bloodborne before it belatedly gets ported to PC, as seen with Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, with those who already own the game on PS4 able to upgrade to the PS5 version for a reduced price. I'm really not one to defend or even promote this kind of practice at all, but charging a nominal fee to upgrade to a PS5 version of Bloodborne that includes the Old Hunters DLC might be able to sway those who've previously been put off by the choppy performance. Perhaps the remaster can even make it so I don't have to go up and down 2 elevators, run past a couple of massive pigs, and avoid more snakes than a Metal Gear reunion to be able to get beaten up by Shadow of Yharnam all over again. Some quality of life changes would honestly go such a long way, especially off the back of Elden Ring, and it's not betraying the game's hardcore nature for it to stop wasting your time quite as much. I think I need to specify here that I bloody love Bloodborne, and that's in spite of its antiquated edges. It is in fact my jam, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to return to this world again, whether that's in a remaster or maybe even a sequel. That said, with so many eyes on Elden Ring and the rest of FromSoft's back catalogue, I just want more people to go mad in Yharnam with the kind of performance that such a game deserves. 4K, at 60 FPS. Now that would be a real hunter's dream. Am I correct? If you made it all this way, thank you for watching, and also like and subscribe, and have a good day. I don't know how to sign these off anymore. It's been months. I've had many things happening. Many things. I forgot it. I've forgotten. It's all falling out of my head. Bye!